Hey, 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 it's Politics with Laura, and I have a good live stream for you. I like that instrumental. There is so much going on, and so much going on. I just don't know where to begin. I truly don't know between what's going on in Russia and a country I cannot name. I mean, there's a whole lot right there to where you can't name a country, and if you do, your channel will go down, or you won't get well, not monetized anyway, um, or your video may get flagged. That right there has a lot in itself. You have now just over in the western part of the world. No, not western. The eastern part of the world. There's a lot of where do I begin? A lot of unrest over there. Even in the continent of Africa, there's a lot going on over there. There's a lot going on in South and Central America. It's just complete mayhem. However, I'm just going to talk about a couple of things. I'm just going to take a little bit from it. I mean, you have Putin, Zelensky, Jung, Xi Jinping, war. Oh my, where does one begin? I'll tell you. It all began with the country I can't name that wanted to get with NATO. And I don't know whether if NATO put a little speck in the president's name that I can't say on the country that's next to Russia that I can't mention. Now, I did several videos to where I talked about the Warsaw Pact Agreement, the Warsaw Pact Agreement, the Warsaw Pact Agreement. And you see the other countries that sided with NATO before this country I can't name. And it is quite interesting. Now, I mean, I have my own thoughts about why this occurred. I have my own thoughts about that. I very well could be wrong. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? But Putin is in a way of the agenda of some people. He's in the way. And he's not going nowhere. He's like, I'm not going nowhere. You're not gonna and I think, and this is just a simple thought, that the United Nations wants to get rid of Putin so that it can have entire Europe. And then if entire Europe is under the EU, not the EU, I'm sorry, NATO, or the United Nations, then China's next, in my opinion. In my opinion. But I thought this right here was quite interesting. Putin walking down the street and a bird, you know, waves hi to Putin. Putin's like, "Hey," like, wait a minute. And I did a video about that. I thought it was kind of funny, just for pure laughter purposes. But this guy right here that I can't name, he's a wartime president. And what's interesting about him was before he became in power, he was a comedian and a an actor, and I think also a singer. Nothing about politics, nothing at all. And and with this, he was put into place by an oligarch by Igor Kolomoisky. Now, he had a vested interest to get back into the country that I cannot name. I already told you the reasons why I can't name it. But Kolomoisky wanted to get back into the country because he was kicked out for corruption because he owned a bank and billions of dollars. There's a lot going on over there. And Putin is under the assumption that there is a lot going on in the country that he cannot name. I mean, it's so bad between the two places to where um, Alexander Drudgen, his daughter got killed in a car bomb that was that was set off by Azov. And Putin has been saying, telling the country that I can't name, that they need to get their neo Nazis straightened out because they're coming over to Russia and there are problems going on over in Russia, and Putin wants the other country to straighten their issues out. And I don't know whether if that was just something for him to get under his skin or what. Don't know, but I have to say it worked because it most definitely got Putin's attention. So much so that he noticed. Uh, where is it? He noticed that Vicky Newland, she had a lot of vested interest over there. And matter of fact, Joe Biden, before he became president, he was over in a country that I can't name, or at least he had his son. But Joe Biden uh, he was asked by Barack Obama to go over there and to be a diplomat to that area because there were some issues over there that he wanted to straighten out. And he most definitely straightened it out, not the way that that was supposed to be, uh, to where Biden had his son over there and working with energy companies. But Russia had a prosecutor over there that was honing in on the this major company over in a country I can't name that had ties with the country I can't name and with Russia, because these two countries, Russia has oil and natural gas that goes in to the country I can't name, but also it filters into Germany, England, not England, but all these other countries, France, Switzerland, um, Spain. And it's interestingly enough that you have all these other countries that are going against Putin because they're a part of NATO because they have to. Here's here's the interesting part. The country I cannot name is not a NATO country. It isn't. So you got to stop and think. Why is NATO there if this country is not a NATO country and it was twice, rejected twice by NATO, but it's still a part of the Warsaw Pact agreement? You can't make this stuff up. You can't. Within that, let's stretch it out a little further. Let's stretch it out. Now you have Kim Jong Kim Jong Un, which I find rather fascinating. That he, you can't make this stuff up. Kim Jong Il, he is shooting missiles over over the country of Japan. That right there is an act of war. Look, I am not a wartime general or strategist or statistician or anything of that sort. When it comes to war and counter war and all that stuff, I just know what I see. Common sense. If somebody were to shoot something over my house, I'm going to go out and fight. 'Cause what the heck are you doing? So far, the president of Japan hasn't done anything yet. I mean, not even shooting the missile that's going over Japan, not even shooting it out. And I don't know whether if the US has given Japan a technology to do it. Don't know. But I know who would. Lockheed Martin. You can't make this stuff up. You just can't. You can't make this stuff up. But Kim Jong Un, he has weapons of mass destruction. Russia has weapons of mass destruction. The country I can't name doesn't, because the U.S. said, "Hey, you go ahead and give that up. We'll protect you." But all of this would have been avoided, all of it, if if Biden would have let these two gentlemen right here, with Putin and this gentleman here, they had a deal. This guy, this president right here, was told by the president of Israel to stop, make a deal, stop killing your people. I said that in so many videos. But he ignored the president of Israel. Now, I don't know why. I mean, I have an idea why. But there is a reason for him to do what he's doing. I mean, a lot is being written about what's going on there. But however, how can I say this? Because they don't have all the information coming out from the country that this president runs is simply through him. There are no independent sources, no independent journalists, none of that from other countries that do not have an axe to grind at all, except to tell the truth. Now, in Russia, you have embedded what do you call it, journalists that are there giving out the truth. Now, I look at countries, India at times, Al Jazeera, Namibia, um, what is it called, Arab Times out of oh my goodness, out of Egypt. There are a lot of independent countries that are that are speaking about this, and and I'm calling it propaganda, because it is propaganda that's being told to us in the United States. But what's being said outside of the United States are two different things. Two. I don't know. I just find it quite interesting. But having said that, who benefits from all this fighting and posturing? Because it's not over between these two people right here. These two, Putin and this gentleman right here. It's not. It hasn't even begun. There has been a lot of turmoil for the past 8 months. Nothing has happened yet. I mean, no, a lot has happened to where Putin went into certain parts of this country, and even and actually, from what I read, was that Putin was renting Crimea. He was leasing it out, a military base there. But however, that's not being said. He'd been paying the country for it. And now, I'm not going to get into that. I want to go down that rabbit hole. That would take me someplace else. But it's Putin has proven that there is an issue with the country that I cannot name, because they have they do have a neo-Nazi situation, so much so that it has spread it. You can't make this stuff up. I did a video on a Brazilian guy that was down in Argentina, and there was a young man, I can't remember his name, that tried to assassinate the vice president. And this guy had some affiliation with Azov, and a guy who openly praised the young man who tried to assassinate the vice president. He walked up to her, no security, pulled out a gun, but the gun jammed and nothing happened. Thankfully, nothing happened. They were a part, you can't make this up, they were a part of the Kyle Rittenhouse Cultural Center. They added Kyle Rittenhouse to this because they have him pegged as a as a uh, as a an extremist, a racist, a Proud Boy, and I really don't know, because what he did in Wisconsin, when he shot the 3 people, severely wounded one, and the other 2 lost their lives out of a Black Lives Matter protest. I mean, man, oh wow. And Azov is down there in Argentina, but Argentina does have its issues uh, over the years with the Nazis. I mean, it just spread. In a country that I can't name, said that they don't have that problem. They don't have it. They don't have this. They don't have that. And then he started admitting, well, hey, it is what it is. It's really something. However, there's only one entity, actually 2, that benefit, but one benefits the most. NATO benefits because they can extend the territory, because they got Poland, they got Latvia, Lithuania, the Baltics, Belarus. They didn't get Belarus. Belarus is like, no, I'm Bella and part of Russia, Bella, Russia. The UN, but who makes a killing? Lockheed Martin, because they sell to both sides. They have no allegiance to anyone. They make the money. But I'm going to leave it there. Please like, subscribe. If you agree with me or don't agree with me, put something down in the chat and we can most definitely discuss it. And I want to thank you for stopping by.